Ladies and gentlemen, this channel has hit 800 subscribers. I don't really know what to think about that. I'm grateful. You know, the channel's even gotten to that point. You know, we're almost at 4 digits. But why this channel? Nah, let me be serious here. Seriously, thank you guys so much. You know, it's not really much to brag about, 800 subscribers, but I'm a pretty small YouTuber. That means a lot to me. As a token of my appreciation, you guys already know, every time we reach a milestone, I upload something special. Whether it's a special music swap, in the past it was live streams, but you know, we're not really in a position that I can live stream, and I literally just did a music swap, and I'm about to do the music swap requests. Then I remembered something. About half a year ago, we had a vote on the Discord. In my last year of high school, I was in the journalism class, and I made video game reviews. You know, that thing that kinda absolutely failed miserably here on YouTube because of my absolute shit review of Sonic Forces. I made a single video review and 2 written reviews. Well, as a token of my appreciation for reaching 800, I want to show you guys the video review. Now, you should be noted, this video review is old. Like, I was not in this room when I was recording that one. Like, I'm still in my small one. And as you can tell by the video title, it is for Battle for Bikini Bottom. Now, this review was made when next to nothing was known about Rehydrated. Like, I think the only 2 things we had at the time, no, only 3 things, were the very short teaser, the demo from, I think it was PAX East, that one demo where Jellyfish Fields is in a sunset, and the screenshots on Steam. If you guys like this review, let me know, and I'll happily make video versions of those other 2 reviews, and if you guys really like those, then reviews might become a regular thing on this channel once more. Now, with that being said, thank you guys once again for 800 subscribers, and I hope you enjoy this a lot.
Are ya ready, kids?
I'm ready!
The teaser alone is why I'm excited for the remake and why I'm making this video. It was such a hard pill to swallow too. Like, was it finally happening? Was a game that maybe thousands of people wanted to get remade actually being remade? And the answer to that was yes. With the remake of the game only getting closer, it seems like there's no better time than now to take one last look at the original SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, the king of the licensed games. First, we gotta go over the story. Well, it is a SpongeBob game, so the story's not gonna be the most in-depth or amazing story. Deep in the laboratory of the Chum Bucket, Plankton has created a machine called the Duplicatotron 3000, a machine that makes robots that will cause mayhem and destruction at his command. But for some reason, the machine has a do not obey setting, and the machine is preset to that. The robots then throw Plankton out of the Chum Bucket, chaos ensues. Cutting to the pineapple under the sea, SpongeBob and Patrick are playing a game of robots and racehorses. Eventually, they get bored of their little game, and Patrick decides to grab out a magic wishing shell, and the 2 wish for real okay, you all probably know where this is going. The next morning, the battle for Bikini Bottom begins.
Gonna play with robots, gonna play with robots, gonna play with robots, gonna play with... Wow! Gary, did you do that?
After a whole bunch of shenanigans, the gang enter the chum bucket only to find out Plankton was the villain the whole time. But then suddenly, the game introduces a brand new antagonist, Robot Plankton. Even though the machine is set back to obey, the robots are obeying Robot Plankton, not Plankton. Robot Plankton then tries to kill you with a giant robot SpongeBob of death, but you end up destroying the robot and the game's done. The story, although not the best of stories in a video game I've heard, I can name several better, it does match the tone and pacing of the show perfectly, which is very good for a licensed game. In fact, it actually kind of feels like you're just playing an episode of the show. Easily the moment that supports my claim would probably have to be this one little moment in Jellyfish Fields.
Hey, you barnacle head! Watch where you're going!
What is talking to me? Almighty Rock, I am at your command!
Down here, you big pink lummox!
Oh, hi there, Mr. Plankton. Are you going to vaporize me today?
So very tempting. Unfortunately, I found myself in the undesirable position of having to assist you.
I was in an undesirable position yesterday, and now my neck hurts.
Heed my words, my large future minion. Go into Jellyfish Cave. Follow the instructions on the signs that you see. At the end of the caves, you'll still be a big pink idiot, but you'll know enough to help defeat the robots and get me back into the chum bucket!
Well, then will you vaporize me?
I might spare your life so I can force you to work in my sweatshop, making low-quality design and knockoff wallets.
Oh, thank you!
The story also doesn't have many plot holes, though one I can think of is the creation of the surprise antagonist, Robot Plankton. Overall, the story gets a 7 out of 10. It's not the best of stories I've ever heard, but it does pretty well being what's essentially a video game version of a SpongeBob episode. Now on to why you're playing the video game, the gameplay. The game itself is a collectathon, similar to that of Super Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie. You have 3 characters you can go on your journey with. SpongeBob, who is the default and has the most attacks. Patrick, who although has less attacks than SpongeBob and the other character, can do things both of them can't. One of these things being throwing. Sandy can glide across gaps and swing on Tex's hitches. Throughout the entire game, is 100 golden spatulas for you to collect. Some are simply at the end of a level's pathway, some are rewarded by doing simple tasks like bungee jumping,
and some will make you want to snap your controller in two.
However, there are only 3 challenges in the whole game that'll make you want to do that, and once you figure out how to do them, you can blaze past 2 of them in less than 10 minutes. The third one, though. Oy. We'll talk about that one later. The game technically has 15 levels, but we're not talking about 2 of them as I do not see them as levels. Each of the levels has 8 golden spatulas to collect, with the exception of the boss battle levels. First up, Bikini Bottom, the hub world of the game. Oddly enough, there are actually challenges to do here, and for some reason 3 of them involve getting on top of buildings. This is also the area where you're going to be able to upgrade your health by collecting golden pairs of underwear. Your health is depicted by SpongeBob's underwear. You start off with 3. You can only grow the health meter if you find a pair of golden underwear in the hub world. There are 3 golden pairs of underwear. So if you know where they are and they're in plain sight, you should have 6 pairs of underwear by the end game. Side note, I just want to say the game's way of explaining how your health works is freaking hilarious. Jellyfish Fields, our first proper level of the game. Oddly enough, this kind of feels like a ripoff of Bob on Battlefield from Super Mario 64. Like, think about it. In both levels, you're climbing a mountain and fighting a king at the very top. I definitely sense that there was some inspiration here. Downtown Bikini Bottom. The main objective here is finding steering wheels for Mrs. Puff and yeesh! In terms of destruction, downtown easily got the worst of it. Like, there's not supposed to be a crater here. I'm pretty sure of it. Everyone's favorite stinky mud puddle, Goo Lagoon, and before you ask, unfortunately, no you cannot step on the beach. Something I should have clarified in Jellyfish Fields is every level has like their own little miniature story. And Gulagoon's little miniature story is that a ham mer steals everyone's sunblock. The Fiend. I'm pretty sure there are special places in hell for little monsters like this one. Poseidon. The first boss level of the game, and there's only one objective. Beat the boss, which is...
A huge murderous robot shaped like a squirrel!
Rock Bottom. This is where the game starts to get a tad more difficult. This level introduces the enemy Sleepy Time, which... well... he doesn't like rude awakenings. Or awakenings at all, really. The MERMALAIR. The level with the unholy trinity. The challenges. Let's discuss what those 3 challenges are. Challenge 1 is shutting off 3 machines from MERMALAIR. This is, well, at first, for me, this was one of the easiest challenges, but now it's actually one of the hardest for me. The second challenge is the Towers of Power. This level is much simpler than what it makes out to be. You literally hit every button once. But they have to be in a row. The third challenge can die in a fire. You have to guide this steel ball to the end of the puzzle. But I'm pretty sure this steel ball is made out of paper mache because it breaks really easily. And it can also fall off the track too, and that sucks when it happens. And when you think you're about to win, if you wait too long, this little thingamadoogie here will just shoot the ball into the abyss. At the end of the level, you fight Prawn, his first and last appearance in the franchise. Okay, that's not entirely true. He has a cameo in the Truth or Square game, but still. The reason why Prawn never appears after Battle for Bikini Bottom, minus his cameo in the Truth or Square game, is pretty much because he's Plankton. Think about it, they're both small. Prawn's a genius like Plankton. He's even voiced by Plankton's actor, Doug Lawrence. Sand Mountain. This level's a waste of time, but holy crap, it's fun. Industrial Park. This level contains the second boss battle in the game, Robot Patrick. And I'm gonna say it right now, dying in this fight is pretty easy, and when you do, it's like all the other boss battles in the game, minus the final one. You have to redo an entire phase all over again. And frankly, that sucks. Kelp Forest. For most people, this is the hardest and worst level in the game. In my opinion, it's really not that bad. Most of the level is in the dark. Like, it's darker than Rock Bottom. The main objective of the level is finding all of Mrs. Puff's quote-unquote campers. The level also contains the Kelp Caves. That is the worst area in the entire game. Not because it's hard, but because it's so long and boring. It's very boring. Even the song is boring. The Flying Dutchman's Graveyard. Your wall jumping skills are going to be put to test in this level. So if you suck at wall jumping, you're going to suck at this level. It also has the longest mini-boss in the entire game. The Flying Dutchman himself. What's even odder, you don't fight him as SpongeBob, you fight him as Sandy. SpongeBob's Dream. This is my favorite level in the entire game. Your main objective is to go to other people's dreams. Remember that comment I said earlier about playing an episode of the show? Well, in this level, you're doing just that. You're basically playing Sleepy Time, but all of the dreams are different. Except Patrick, his really isn't that different from the show. The Chum Bucket Lab. The final boss of the game with 2 radically different phases. Phase 1 is the boss itself, Robot SpongeBob. Phase 2, oddly enough, is a platforming challenge and an enemy gauntlet, as well as a few face-offs against Robot Plankton. Once the game is done, you play in an arena in your SpongeBall form. I don't think I actually talked about this. You have a power-up in this game, SpongeBall. It's exactly what it sounds like. You turn into a ball. I believe it's only in 2 levels of the game, Downtown Bikini Bottom and Rock Bottom. You are completely vulnerable to enemy attack. If you try to press the jump button, you end up leaving your SpongeBob form, but your speed's increased. Kind of an unfair trade-off, but yay? The gameplay overall is pretty fun. It's perfectly balanced, and the bosses are a pretty good time, especially the final one. The second phase, though, is, that's up to debate. Overall, I was mostly not disappointed, so the gameplay gets a 9 out of 10. The music, the music. It sounds like it's ripped right out of the show. Every song fits with the area they're made for, and why don't I just play you a few? Honestly, I could play you this whole dang soundtrack, but this video would be way too long if I did that. So overall, the music gets a 10 out of 10. Overall, the game gets a 26 out of 30. Probably one of the best licensed games I've ever played, and that's saying a lot because most of them kind of suck. BFBB, that's Bob for Bikini Bottom for short, is what every licensed game should strive to be. A fun experience that matches the tone and spirit of its source material. As to what version I am to recommend, well, the gameplay you've been seeing throughout this whole video is actually one of my old runs of the game via the Dolphin emulator, which is a emulator you can get for computers. I don't exactly know what versions. I know Windows is one of them. It's kind of a no-brainer. The emulator lets you play GameCube and Wii games on your computer. You can even render them in HD or play GameCube games in widescreen. But before I continue on about that, I gotta remember this is a review of the game, not a review of the Dolphin emulator. if you're willing to spend the extra few bucks, I would say get the original Xbox version. It looks cleaner, there's better lighting, there's better audio mixing, there's missing audio clips, even the load times are shorter. Guys, I'm telling you, play this game at least once. You most likely will not regret it, and it might end up in your top 10 favorite games. I mean, I know I sure as heck don't regret it. I've played the game 6 times for my YouTube channel in the span of 2 years. But anyways, I am Mitch Sequeira, or if you watch my YouTube channel, I am Koopy Eliminator. I hope you all have a fantastic day. This is the Koopy Eliminator, signing out.